Sewing your own clothes is about to become your entire new personality, and you'll have me to thank for it. Hi, I'm Ria. This is Ellen Devenco, and this is where I'm going to be teaching you to create and curate your dream wardrobe. I'm self-taught when it comes to sewing, and if I can create this, and this, then you can too. So you want to start sewing, you want to start making your own clothes, you want to recreate your Pinterest board, but you've never sewn anything before in your life, then welcome. You're in the right place. And today I'm going to be taking you through all of the basics, all of the materials that you should probably have before you start cutting into your fabric and making a mess of things. And let's be honest, when you first start sewing, you are likely to make a mess of things. But that's okay. Your first projects may not be wearable, they may be terrifying, but sewing and fashion design in and of itself is just as much about the journey as it is about the destination. You know what I mean? So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start by making a disclaimer. Sewing is not the cheapest hobby to venture into. It can be done affordably, but sewing's like one of those hobbies that you kind of need to make sort of large initial investment when you first start out. And that's not me trying to be like a gatekeeper, just like compared to drawing or painting or those other sorts of arts and craft hobbies, you do kind of need to make a large investment to begin to like enter into it, but the ROI is definitely worth it, trust me. So before you bite the bullet and, go and invest in all of these materials and a new machine and all of that kind of thing, there are some questions I want you to ask yourself. Are you the type of person who enjoys learning by making mistakes? Do you like to finish a task only to realize you've done it wrong? Are you the type of person who's willing to spend hours and hours unpicking your seams? Are you someone who enjoys ironing a lot? And are you someone who's slightly masochistic? If that sounds like you, congratulations, learning to sew may actually be cheaper than therapy. If all of this sounds to you like it's a pastime you might enjoy, I would first say to you, seek help, but yeah, sewing may be worth the investment for you. Now, first off, you're going to need a sewing machine, and these can range in size, price, style, etc. I've had my sewing machine, my little brother over there, for about 10 years. It was a graduation present from my mum and dad, and I know that it was kind of like affordable even back then. I think my parents paid somewhere between like $100, $150 for it. And that's pretty like baseline, that's like entry level even at the moment in terms of buying a new machine. But I honestly think buying your first machine secondhand is a really great idea. You can pick some up on Marketplace. I know that if you're in Brisbane, The Nest and Reverse Garbage often have them there as well. My best friend, she recently just bought her first sewing machine for like $50 off Facebook Marketplace, and it was a Singer, which if you don't know is like a really, really good brand. So yeah, you're gonna need a sewing machine. The next thing you're going to need are sewing machine needles. Sometimes they'll come with your machine, but if you're purchasing your machine secondhand, they probably won't. Either way, having some spare on hand is really handy because you are likely to break a few needles when you first start sewing. You can buy universal needles from somewhere like Spotlight or even other places online like Fabric Store. Universal needles, as the name suggests, they can kind of fit on any machine and they're really good with most woven fabrics. We will get into different types of fabrics in another video in this series because as you start to work with different types of fabrics, you are going to need different types of needles, but a pack of like 3 or 4 universal sewing needles from your local will do the trick just fine. You're also going to need sewing machine thread. You can get all-purpose polyester sewing machine thread. I'd recommend getting black and white to start. You'll need sewing machine bobbins as well. I don't know if you guys ever seen Brave, but sewing machine bobbins remind me of the Will-O-Wisps from Brave. Like if you drop them on the floor, they bounce and you're trying to like catch them and they just keep like moving away from you and they ultimately evade your grasp until they finally like settle and land on the floor and you can pick them up. Maybe I'm not making any sense. If you haven't seen Brave, maybe you won't get it. But bobbins, you're going to need them. Again, you can buy them in packs. Sometimes they come with your machine. It's basically this little round disc that you're going to spin your thread onto into your machine. You're also going to need scissors. Now, because I want you to start off strong and have the best sewing experience possible and to save your pennies in the long run, I'm going to tell you that you need 2 pairs of scissors. One crappy, cheap, ugly stepsister pair of scissors that you're going to use on your paper patterns, and one beautiful, lovely Cinderella pair of fabric scissors. There is no negotiation on this, okay? You don't use your fabric scissors on paper. Repeat after me. We do not use our fabric scissors on paper. If you use your fabric scissors on paper, I'm going to come out of my computer screen and I'm going to give you a little smack, okay? We don't do it. You got that? Don't use fabric scissors on paper. You're also going to need a measuring tape and a seam ripper. You will use your seam ripper a lot. In the beginning, seam ripping, it's inevitable. It's a rite of passage. Get used to it. Me, when I realized I was getting good at sewing was when I realized I wasn't seam ripping as much. That time will come for you too, but in the meantime, please get friendly with your seam ripper because you're going to be using him a lot. You'll also need a tailor's chalk or a water erasable pen to make marks on your fabric. Also going to need pins. I like using quilter's pins. Usually they're longer and they're sharper because they're made to go through more layers of fabric, and they have a larger head as well, which makes it much easier to find when they inevitably fall on your floor. Like, if I can give any advice, if you drop a pin on the floor, just pick it up straight away. I have stepped on many a pin. It's not fun. Yeah, quilter's pins. You'll need needles for hand sewing and also a thimble. I'm not a big fan of hand sewing even now. I'm trying to learn to love it because it is kind of a necessary evil when it comes to sewing. I tried to avoid it when I first started sewing as much as I could, but it really, learn to love hand sewing. A thimble makes a world of difference. I actually need to start using mine. I always forget to use it, but sometimes when you are hand sewing, the thimble will save your fingers from like having to push the needle through the fabric. So definitely recommend that. An iron. Some people may not think this is a basic. They might not think it is an essential, but I want you to start out strong with your sewing habits. Pressing your seams as you go is the key to like having the most well-finished garment and having it look professional. It helps your garment last longer as well because like the heat and the steam from the iron allows all of your seams to lock in and like meld with the fabric, and it just makes it look so good. Sure, you might not need an iron, but like if you're not willing to iron your garment, why are you making it? Do you want it to look professional or do you want it to look rushed and like you made it for home economics? I mean, you answer the question. Buy an iron, trust me, you'll thank me for it later. It kind of goes hand in hand with an iron. If you have an iron, you might need an ironing board. I don't think the ironing board is an essential. When I first started sewing, I had a cheap iron from Kmart, cost me like $7, and I would put a couple of towels on my table or my bench and I would just iron on that. I have upgraded to an ironing board now, but you don't need an ironing board. And last but not least, you will need fabric and a sewing pattern. I know how tempting it is to just grab your beautiful new fabric and start cutting into it and just YOLO winging it. But you will save yourself so much time, effort, and money if you just go and invest in a well-curated, well-thought-out, easy-to-follow pattern. I have a whole 2-part series on my favorite beginner-friendly pattern. It's actually the pattern that I first learned to sew on, so I'll leave that link down below. But just do a little bit of research and you can find some really great beginner patterns online. There will be a video to come in this Sewing 101 series all about learning to pick and read and understand sewing patterns, so stay tuned for that. And that is all of the basics, everything you need to start sewing your own clothes. I feel like I've made sewing sound semi-torturous. It's not, I promise. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And you know, if you're a really crafty, artsy type person, I know you're going to love it too. But I just want to be honest. And there have definitely been times where I've wanted to throw myself and my sewing machine out of my window. But you know, my outfits look really cute. Get excited because you will be making your own clothes in no time. Make sure you like this video, hit subscribe, and ding the notification bell so you get notified every time that I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!